Yes, yes, yes. Welcome in, welcome back. It's been a while. My name is Nick Harkson. I have not been here in a long time, but it is good to be back. The boys are back in town, so I'm back every Tuesday, like normal. We had a few technical difficulties, just a couple brain farts on my end, really, was all it was. It's been so long. But yeah, let's turn it up. Volume is low. How about now? How about now? Is that better? All right. No sound. No sound. Great. That's what we love to hear. How about now? We got the sound. We got some sound. I know we got sound now. I know we've got sound now. How about that? Is that better? Is that better? Told you, it's been a while. It's been a while. Braylon, is that better? There we go. There we go. All right, cool, cool. Sorry about that. Told you, technical difficulties. It's been a while. It's been at least a month for me, taking some time off while the rest of the team was taking some time off. But they're back, so we're back. Great to be back. How's everybody doing today on this Tuesday? I'm feeling great. Love that we're back in training camp. The season is almost here. 44 days to be exact. Cheers to that. But yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close. So it's time to get back into Lions football. And let's get right into it. Had to start it off the proper way with the right tradition, the Dan Campbell tradition since he's been here. Talking about Dan Campbell doing up downs with the team. You love to see it. Building the team camaraderie, letting the rookies know, hey, I don't play around, so you don't play around either. But let's get into some real news. I just had to say love to see it. And also for people who haven't been here with me before, go ahead, drop your questions in the comment section. I'll get to them eventually throughout the podcast. But I'm going to go over some things that have been happening with the Lions. What's up, everybody, though? Yeah, I'll say what's up. John Peterson, Braylon, Dustin, Kim. What's going on, everybody? David, love to see you. But yeah, here we go. Lions news. It's been a while. We have re-signed running back Justin Jackson. And, I was kind of surprised by this. It creates some more competition in the running back room, especially for the running back 3 position right there. He was our RB3 for a lot of the year last year. Craig Reynolds got hurt, so he kind of had to step up and fill that. He didn't have the greatest numbers, 42 carries, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, but he was solid. I mean, he would return kicks. He would do more than just run the ball for us, and he played a decent RB3 role, but re-signing him makes it interesting, like I said, for that role, because the competition now is between him, Craig Reynolds, and Mohamed Ibrahim, the unsigned rookie out of Minnesota, who did very well in Minnesota, who I'm interested to see how he does. But haven't heard much out of camp from those 3. But it is an interesting battle. I think, we all know that the top 2 spots belong to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. So we'll see how that plays out there. Another battle that is heating up at training camp, of course, is the kicking battle. And I'm letting people get in here. I'm talking about some lesser important things. I know that we all know there's more going on. But we got the kicking battle that's heating up in Detroit after we dropped Michael Badgley, who just recently got picked up, just very recently, got picked up by the Commanders. I was kind of surprised that we dropped Badgley. I was surprised when we traded for Riley Patterson when we already had Badgley, because I thought Badgley did well for us last year. He didn't have the most power in his leg, but he was pretty consistent and came through for the most part when we needed him. But now it's down to John Parker Romo and Riley Patterson. And I think Riley Patterson right now is the front runner. We traded for the guy. So we got to make it look like, we've got to make the trade look good. The reasoning for letting go of Badgley was that him and Riley Patterson were similar and they wanted to get more of a look at Riley than at Badgley, because we know how Badgley is. So I was going to say Badgley's not completely out of the picture, but he signed with the Commanders, so he is out of the picture. But Parker Romo, John Parker Romo, he had a great XFL season, and the guy's got leg power. The guy can kick the ball pretty far. He's no Prater, or at least not that I've seen, but he can kick the ball pretty far, and I'm honestly rooting for the guy to win the battle because I've always liked the bigger leg kickers like a Prater. It doesn't put as much pressure on the offense to get down the field as much. And I like touchdowns way more, but I'm talking about like an end of the half, end of the game situation where we're only down by a point or two and we can win it with a field goal. Gives a lot less pressure on the offense if you can kick a 50-yard field goal consistently instead of having to get your kicker into that, 35, 40-yard range because they don't have the big leg. But yeah, I see some comments in here. Bring back the drunk. We're talking about Prater. Hey, Prater can drink as much alcohol as he wants on the sideline as long as he's making those deep kicks. The guy was amazing for us. But yeah, Dustin need that deep leg. I love it too. It does seem like they're liking Riley Patterson. They traded for him. Dan Campbell said that Romo still got, a little bit of work to do. He's got to grow a little bit more as a kicker, get more consistent and whatnot. So, we'll see what happens. I really would like to take the deep leg over Riley Patterson no matter what. But, consistency matters a lot too. So, and Dan Campbell and the boys are known for going for it on fourth down all the time anyways. So, maybe that's an excuse for them too. Hey, we don't have the strongest leg. We got to go for it here. Maybe they love to use that as an excuse. Who knows? But that is a battle going on there for the kicking position at training camp right now. All right, let's talk some more training camp. Some guys who have not been practicing so far, and for different reasons, but newly signed cornerback Emmanuel Mosley is on the PUP, which is the physically unable to perform list. Coach Dan Campbell insists that, they're just being cautious and dialing it back, and it's not a setback. It makes a lot of sense. He did have a very significant injury, and he's coming off of that. So just to rest him a little bit longer, give him some time. It makes a lot of sense. I don't think that it's anything serious here. I think he'll be ready to go, hopefully by week 1. If not, it'll be very soon in the season. I think we only have him for a year. So hopefully he's ready to go for most of the season. But I don't think it's anything for us to worry about. Another guy who has been missing practice, Marvin Jones Jr., and that he's on the NFI list, which is the non-football injury list. He just came into training camp, with some back issues, back soreness, back stiffness, some spasms. Nothing too serious either. We know what Marvin's like. They're not trying to rush him off that list. They're going to let him rest, let him get good. He's a vet in the game. He knows what he's doing. Maybe he's there more on a mentor role because we did make some moves at the wide receiver position that we'll get into here. But I want to talk about a guy who has shown up to practice, who has not been there for a while. And I'm happy that it's finally coming around. But Levi Anuzarike, our second-round pick 2 years ago out of Washington, he is back, a full go at practice, fully healthy. It's good to hear because if he can contribute out on the field, he can really help this defensive line. He's a big body. He did well in college. Who knows what he's going to do in the pros? He hasn't played that many games, hasn't had that many reps. He's been injured pretty much the whole entire time. But to have him healthy it should help out this defensive line if he can be the second overall pick that we picked a few years ago. That defensive line isn't sounding too bad. We got Hutch. We got Pascal coming back. Kaminsky. Bugs. Romeo Okora. Charles Harris. We got Houston. Julian Okora. We got some decent. Aleem the Dream. I can't forget about Aleem, who has lost a significant amount of weight. He says he hasn't lost any strength, but he's lost a good amount of weight, so that's going to be good. He's going to be able to move around a lot better. I think he'll be more of a force to reckon with, maybe get to the quarterback more, even as an interior defensive lineman. But having Levi back should help, at least with the depth there on the D-line. So that is always good when that happens. But somebody who's been showing out, not much you can really do here with non-padded practices and whatnot, but somebody who's been showing out as of late is a rookie that I want to talk about. And please feel free to give me the questions anytime you want. I'll come over to him and answer them. But right now we're going to talk about a rookie who has been making some noise at training camp, and that is Brian Branch. This is what Dave Burkett had to say, and of course this comes from a retweet that he quoted from the Bar Mitzvah Barry, okay? And some of you guys might know these people, but he says, there's not much that stands out in non-padded practices, but he did today, and he's talking about rookie out of Alabama, Brian Branch. Bar Mitzvah Barry says, Branch is going to be a beast, nothing but highlights coming out of him, and that's good to hear, especially, you want your rookies, your first few picks to go out there and contribute right away. And I think our first 4 are going to be able to do that right off the bat for us. But it's better right now, and it's good to see that Brian Branch is making an immediate impact, at least at practice, especially because of what happened with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now, that was a scare. I think a lot of us panicked. I definitely did. I woke up to that. I saw it. I said, C.J. Gardner-Johnson carted off the field with non-contact injury. And when you see that, you automatically think the worst. You're like, oh, ACL. They're out for the season. Achilles, something. It's over for. It's done for. But luckily, the football gods are, Lord, somebody shine their light down on C.J. Gardner-Johnson and the Lions fan base, and he's good to go. MRI came back clean. He's day-to-day. But it is still good to know that Brian Branch is out there doing well in practice so far, because he pretty much plays the same position as CJ GJ. But yeah, good news all around there. And you know what? If there's a Philly fan in here, or any of the Philly fans who are out there that were cheering when this happened, that's just ridiculous and disrespectful. Just because the guy leaves and goes to a different team, come on. I don't think any of us were hoping that Stafford was going to get hurt or break his back again when he went to the Rams. I mean, some people probably were, but I was happy for him when he won that Super Bowl. And I don't know why the Philly fans can't be happy when CJ wins his Super Bowl with Detroit. I'm just kidding. But hopefully that is a real deal prophecy that I just made right there. Anyways, back on the injuries. Jameson Williams, J-Mo, Big Smo, he is day-to-day with a leg injury. Now, this is another injury that Dan Campbell said isn't anything serious, nothing to worry about, but he says that it is significant enough that it's going to keep him out the next few days. I really hope that it's nothing to do with his knee. He's going to have plenty of time to rest it until he comes back, but he needs to get as many reps as he possibly can with that first-team offense. I'm pretty sure once the season starts, he has to step away from the team. Once he's suspended, he can't practice with them. So these reps right now are important. He can do preseason. He can do all that. And we can't be having the guy get hurt. I mean, he was hurt all last year off of his college injury. He's suspended for 6 games. Stay healthy. Come on, J-Mo. We need you out there getting all the reps, staying healthy. And yeah, so when you come back, you're ready to go. I truly believe he will be. I don't think it's anything significant. They're probably playing cautious once again. But man, to see that guy on the injury list already once again when he hasn't hardly stepped on the field, it's just it's not good to see. All right. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here. Let me take a drink. And thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I know we haven't had a live over here on the channel in a while, and a lot of you guys are expecting Gridiron or Derek, but I'm here. I'm the first live back, and I'll be here every Tuesday, and we're going to get more content pumping out to you since the season is upon us. But yeah, let's get into some more rookie talk. And let's talk about another rookie who's been standing out. I'm talking about a guy I've been raving about, a guy that I'm going to say I told you so. If you go and you look, I retweeted, follow me on Twitter. It says right there, at nharkson24. But I retweeted a photo that Pride of Detroit did, and I'm talking about Sam Laporta. In this photo alone, you can see this guy's athleticism. Anzalone's trying to jump up and get the ball. The ball's probably 5 feet above, or even further above his head still. And Sam Laporta is going up, climbing the ladder to get it. The guy is an athlete. He's already out there. He's with the offense, the number one offense. And it's looking like he's going to be the starting tight end come day one, which is great because he was a second-round pick. I know he was early. Same with Branch. Looks like both those guys going to be out there making a difference day one, and that's what you want, especially if you can get your second-round picks doing that, because we know Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell won't be the captain right off the bat, but they're both going to make a difference out there. But Sam Laporta, can't say enough good things about this guy. I've been raving about him since we drafted him. I'm an Iowa fan. The guy is going to be good for us. Trust me when I say this. If he can stay healthy, watch out. Watch out, NFL. Sam Laporta is coming for you. George Kittle has a lot of good things to say about him. That's high regard right there of a fellow tight end in the league who's showing you love. I know that they went to the same school, but George Kittle, top talent, recognizes talent. I think Sam Laporta is going to be that guy. All right, more rookies. Jack Campbell. Heard he's doing well. Which is what you like to see. I heard he's improving each day, making strides. Some people were worried about him right off the bat. Don't be worried. Jack Campbell is a workhorse. He's going to do what he needs to do to find himself in the right place on that field. Of course, this is still Anzalone's defense. Like I just said, it's not going to be Captain Jack right off the bat. Maybe in a few years, maybe next year. But this is still Anzalone's defense. He runs it. He knows what's going on. In that picture that I saw where Anzalone was jumping up to get the ball, Jack Campbell is a little taller, a little longer. He might have been able to get to that ball, but it was very well placed. Anyways, Anzalone's going to be running that defense this year until he proves that he can't. But Jack Campbell making strides, learning. He's going to be a force to reckon with. He's going to make a difference on this defense for sure this year. And the last rookie that I'm going to talk about, at least for now, I don't know if you guys saw Good Morning Football. I think it was yesterday. But Kyle Schrager, this guy was going off. Not Kyle's. Peter Schrager. Not Kyle, sorry. Peter was going crazy about our number one overall pick this year, Jahmyr Gibbs, and he said Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take over the NFL. I really hope he's right, and I think I agree with him, honestly. I think he's set up to have a breakout year his rookie year. The offensive line is supposed to be one of the best. We got weapons all around him. Ben Johnson's calling the plays again. He's going to find sneaky ways to get him the ball. Jahmyr Gibbs got speed out of this world. And Peter Schrager had Brad Holmes on his podcast recently. And Brad confirmed, just like I thought, he said he's a positionless player, meaning that you can put him anywhere and he's going to succeed. You can put him in the slot. You can put him out there, flanked out as the number one wide receiver. You can put him running back. You could probably play him as quarterback. Put him on the line, damn it. No, I'm just kidding. But pretty much it sounds like he's going to be, a jack of all trades for us out there, Swiss Army knife. And I love that, and I cannot wait to see it. I'm getting more and more excited as the season approaches because we have this guy. Brad Holmes also said, our running game was pretty good last year. He thinks it's going to be even better this year. And we had a guy who ran for over 1,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. And then Swift, if he could have stayed healthy, could have had a much better year as well. But I believe Brad Holmes, and I've been saying this as well, I think that our running back room has improved, and I'm rolling with it. I am very excited to see Jahmyr Gibbs out there with this offense doing some work. And just like Peter Schrager says, he's coming to take over the NFL. Him and Sam Laporta, dual rookie of the year on the offensive side. Let's go. Never been done before, but both of them are winning this year. All right, here we go. David Bennett, let's see. Levi, Mims, Bridgewater, and Romo, which are most and least important? Okay. We can get into this because I'm going to talk about it anyways. Yes, we have signed Mims. I talked about Levi returning. I think that's very important. We just traded for Denzel Mims, and we didn't trade much. And if he doesn't make the roster, I don't think we trade anything at all. But I see Denzel Mims making the roster. He's a wide receiver that came from the Jets. He kind of got, pushed to the side over there. Once Aaron Rodgers came, Aaron Rodgers wanted his guys. He wanted, old-ass Randall Cobb, all these other guys. And Denzel Mims got pushed out. And Denzel Mims has a lot of potential. I think that he had some bad quarterback play over there with him before Aaron Rodgers. So he never really got to show his full potential. He's in a new environment now. He says he's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean, look at this right here. New Lions wide receiver Denzel Mims. Blank, yeah, I got a chip on my shoulder. This is a family-friendly podcast. Otherwise, I would say it. But, I mean, he's ready to go. And when we get guys who have chips on their shoulders playing under Dan Campbell, it seems like he brings the best out of them. Amon-Ra. I hope, Brian Branch is coming in this year with a chip on his shoulder. Now we got Denzel Mims. Just a bunch of guys who got to go out there and prove something. They end up playing a lot harder for you. And I really think that with J-Mo being out at the beginning for the 6 games, Marvin Jones with his back issues, Mims has a very good chance to shine with this offense right off the bat and, put a stamp on his spot here in Detroit. He's still young. He's 25 years old. So if he can prove to us that he can go out there and be the receiver that he was drafted to be, then we got something very good heading into the future with Mims, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Jahmyr Gibbs, and of course Sam Laporta. I mean, that would be crazy if Mims could turn out to be that wide receiver that he was in college. One of the most underrated wide receivers coming out of college from Baylor. So I would love to see him revamp his career with us. I think that is very important. Bridgewater and Romo. Okay. I'm going to get into Teddy here in a little bit, but Romo's pretty important to me. I touched on it a little bit earlier. I think the big leg is important to a team. I don't know if that's necessarily what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are looking for. They might be looking for more consistency from a shorter range or just all around, and the big leg doesn't matter to them because they want to get up closer and give themselves a chance to score touchdowns anyways. I don't know what they're thinking. They do go for it a lot on 4th. I would love to see Romo be our kicker, give a guy a chance from the XFL, and who did great there, by the way. It's important. I don't think it's quite as important as Levi or Mims. And then Teddy. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about Teddy now. The Lions had Teddy Bridgewater in for a visit. And if you know Dan Campbell, you know that he loves Teddy Bridgewater. They have a love for each other. They spent some time together on other teams. And I think it would be an absolutely great move to bring in Teddy Bridgewater. Dan Campbell already said he wants to add some competition to the room. I don't think he's necessarily talking about with Jared Goff. I think Goff is our number one guy no matter what. But we definitely need a better backup. And for the people who think that Hendon Hooker is ready to go right now, he's not. He's still got, he's coming along physically, but he's got a long way to go mentally and a lot to learn about being a good NFL quarterback before he's ready to step foot on the field. And you don't just want to throw a guy in who had a bad injury on his rookie year out there and, throw him to the Wolves and just see what he can do. Give this guy a little bit of time. Give him at least a year. So in that time, I think bringing in another veteran quarterback who has started but also played the backup role and is all about it, Teddy Bridgewater would be a step up, much better than Nate Sudfeld. Nothing against the guy. But we're in a position right now where a lot of people we have the hype train behind us. They're expecting us to make some noise. And this league is a rough league. Now, I don't wish this upon anybody, especially my own team. But, let's say Jared Goff has to miss a few games. We can't afford to step back at all. And to have a guy step in like Teddy Bridgewater take over, we give ourselves a much better chance to win that game than with Nate Sudfeld. I don't think Nate's doing anything for us. Love the guy. He's probably, a good guy, probably a good teammate. But Teddy can also, as a backup, teach Hendon Hooker some things as well. Goff and Teddy Bridgewater can pass that knowledge down to him, and he could really develop as a much better quarterback, hearing from two veteran quarterbacks. But, when you're set up to make a good run, or you're expected to make a good run in the league, you need to have some insurance and some depth. And I think that it would be a very good move to go and get Teddy Bridgewater, especially if him and Dan Campbell already have some chemistry. I don't want there to be a controversy between Goff and Bridgewater. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Goff, like I said, is our guy. But get a good backup in there. We haven't had a good backup since Sean Hill back in the day, So, but yeah. Yeah, I would have to lean on. If you're asking about who's more important, I would say at the time being, it's got to be Mims, just because he makes our wide receiver room doesn't really fall back that much. I don't know. I think they're all important. Not so much Romo. I think we can get by with Riley Patterson, but getting a good backup quarterback to me is very important. I think Hendon Hooker can be that, and he could develop into being our starter eventually. But, getting a good backup quarterback right now is essential to me. And then Levi, he can make or break this. I mean, he's not going to make or break the defensive line, but if he can be that beast that he was in college, we're going to be good. We're going to be a lot better. We're going to have a lot more depth. We got guys who can play the position already. They just got to come out and build off of last year and do the damn thing. All right. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get into some other things real quick about training camp. And we're talking just about wide receivers. Let's talk about a guy who just shined like crazy today. And I don't know if you've been seeing the Lions social media feed, but I'm talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. The guy is looking like a beast out there. Toe tapping, going up one-on-one coverages, 50-50 balls, and getting them. Him and Goff just look dialed in. And as a matter of fact, Goff passed 6 touchdowns to Amon-Ra St. Brown today. Out of 10, that was 6 touchdown passes out of 10 plays when they were doing a red zone little stretch there. But, Goff looked great today too. It says right here, Kyle said it. Didn't look like Goff hit the ground at all until his final 2 passes, one of which was picked off by Kirby Joseph. Shout out Kirby real quick. I love Kirby Joseph. But yeah, so they're clicking again, which is great to see. You got to keep that chemistry and keep building on it. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Goff have had that since the end of Amon-Ra's rookie year, and it's good to see that it's still working right now. I truly believe that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have his best year yet this year. And he's already had 2 great years. Of course, his rookie year was pretty good. Last year was really good. I think this year is going to be even better. I think he takes that next step. He's gonna be an elite, considered an elite wide receiver to the rest of the league after this year, if you ask me. He's out there putting in the work. You can see it in his catches. I truly didn't think that he was one of those, one-on-one receiver type guys, 50-50 ball type guys to go up and get it. He's a little smaller as a receiver. But today in the highlights, Goff trusted him, put it up there for him. He went up and got it. He's doing his 100 catches off the machine, and he's catching with one hand now. The guy's just looking like he's in top shape and in his prime when he's still so young, which is awesome to hear and know, because we've got this guy. He's on our team, and I truly do believe he's going to make the next step and be even better this year, especially because we have so many weapons, and Goff's going to be able to pick out whoever he wants. It's going to be one of those years for Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Let's get in over here. I wanna see what we're saying in the comments. Is Mims upside about like Shark? Well, I'd so Shark had already proven himself in the league, right? Before he came to Detroit. He did have some injuries, but in Jacksonville he had some success. He had a Pro Bowl year. He was already good. Mims has a lot to prove. Mims has a lot of potential. He's a big body guy, but he is quick. He's fast. He made a few good plays here at training camp already that we've seen on video. He made a one-handed catch from Sudfeld. Wasn't the best pass, but he went out there and got it, made the play. I think that his upside is probably a little bit more though because he's so young. So he's 25. If he's able to find a new home here in Detroit, rejuvenate his career, which never really got off from it never got off to a good start in New York. He's kind of just always pushed to the back for some reason, but he was a great college wide receiver. If he can put that on and turn that on here in Detroit, he could really be a huge difference for this offense for years to come. So I say his upside is higher. He's got a higher ceiling just because he's younger, doesn't have as many injuries as Shark did. I loved what Shark did and his chemistry with Goff towards the end of the year. But I think that Denzel Mims can turn out to be just as good, if not better, if he can find that, some people find a new scenery. It rejuvenates them. It gives them new life. Hopefully that can happen here with Denzel Mims. And if it does, then we've got a great wide receiver on our hands if we want to sign him for years to come. But yeah, that's how I answer that question. Here we go. So if the Lions, I'm MSU Detroit fan, I'm answering your question here. So if the Lions don't bring in Teddy Bridgewater, is the preseason going to be between Nate Sudfeld and Adrian Martinez for the backup job since Hooker probably won't suit up? That's what I would go with, yeah. And I would probably, as much as I want to give Martinez a chance, I think he's athletic. I think he could prove to be that guy. I think they like Sudfeld, but they would like Teddy Bridgewater more. And I would not be shocked to see Teddy Bridgewater getting signed to the Lions very soon, because Dan Campbell did say he would love to bring him in and just for more competition. Dan wants him there. I think from his presser, you can tell that he wants him there. He loves Teddy Bridgewater. There's no secret there. So I would rather have Teddy start off, but yeah, preseason comes. If he's not there, it's between those two. It is. All right, here we go. Dustin. Shark is longer, but speed-wise, yes, Mims would be good opposite J-Mo. I agree. I think those Mims, J-Mo, Amon-Ra would be a very good wide receiving core for the future. I already like what we have, with Josh Reynolds. Him and Goff have some chemistry. So Mims is going to have to find his way still to get some more playing time because we can't forget about, like I said, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, he's still there. Goff just hit, a bomb to him in training camp. They still got the chemistry. He's going to be there. So Mims is not a guarantee to start or be out there all the time just because J-Mo's suspended and Marvin Jones is a little hurt right now with his back. Because when Marvin Jones comes back, he's adding more competition again too. And Marvin's not just going to give up a spot just because he's getting older. Marvin wants to prove that he can still play. So it's going to be tough for Denzel Mims to find his way here. I think just because the wide receiver room is a lot better than people think. But I really do hope that he does shine here. I hope that he finds his new beginning here and becomes that wide receiver that he was in college. Because if he can be that guy, then we got a steal on our hands with this trade. All right. Here we go. Go Brown. Put crazy speed outside and watch the inside be exploited by Brown and Laporta. Yeah, you're not lying. We also can't forget about the wide receiver that we drafted in the 7th round, Antoine Green out of North Carolina. That guy has got speed too, and he looks well. So, this is not a gimme for Mims to come in here and even find a spot. And if I could be wrong here, so don't quote me on this, but I think I read that if Mims does not make the roster, that they just act like the trade never happened. They just, because what we did is a 2024 conditional picks. We swapped our 6th for the Jets' 7th, and then we got Mims. But if Mims doesn't make the roster, they just swap him back. That's what I understand. So it's really a very safe trade. It's not a big deal at all if he doesn't make the roster, because then we just get our conditional pick back. But yeah, yeah. If you guys got more questions, let it be. All the competition at linebacker is crazy. Also, yes, I agree. It seems like Barnes has taken a step up this year. It looks like they love that guy, which I was hoping he was going to be, a little more productive in his first 2 years. But it's going to be great if he's going to be that guy in his 3rd year, because they had him going with the first team for a while there at minicamp. So Anzalone, Barnes, Rodrigo, Campbell. Who do we get? Jalen Reeves-Maybin back. There's a lot of competition there, but that's the best thing about this team, and that the coaches know the competition brings out the best of you. If you got a guy who's right there, who could start over you the next day if you just slip up right here, it makes you want to be better at practice. And hopefully it's not over competing at practice to where you're getting hurt, or you're getting worn out and not ready for Sunday. But the coaches know what they're doing. They used to play. A lot of former NFL players. Creating that competition is the best way to get the best out of your players, and I love what they're doing there. All right, well, yeah, I don't have much more to talk about, so let the questions roll in if you want. Oh, let's get into this real quick. I do have a few more things to talk about that I skipped over. Let's talk about the offensive line. Let's talk about the offensive line. Well, here, I'll answer David's question here real quick, or his comment before I get into the offensive line. But he says, I love Martinez on practice squad, helping our defense learn how to deal with running quarterbacks. I agree. That is a huge help, because that's becoming more apparent in this day and age that running quarterbacks are becoming the norm. You need to be able to run and throw. You don't need to be able to, but it's just a plus. And there's a lot of running quarterbacks that we're going to face off against, especially in our own division with Fields. I don't know so much about Jordan Love. I know Kirk Cousins doesn't run around so much. But to emulate Fields, who we see twice a year, is going to be a great thing for us. So, yeah, great way to point that out right there. That is definitely a plus side to having Martinez on our team, and hopefully he can stay on that practice squad. Nobody picks him up. But all right, let's get into the offensive line. A guy who I was a little worried about came out and reassured the fans. Talking about Frank Ragnow. He had that inoperable toe injury, but he said that his injury got blown out of proportion this offseason after he said it was inoperable. I saw his presser. Said he's feeling great mentally and physically, and he's ready to go. Feeling better than ever. So that is good to hear. Good news out of Frank Ragnow. And let's keep it offensive line. There is another battle going on in training camp that is very interesting, that is going to solidify that last starting spot there on the offensive line that is supposed to be one of the top offensive line in the leagues. We have Graham Glasgow and I can't pronounce his last name, but Vaitai are currently competing for the last guard spot, and I love this because they both got something to prove. Graham Glasgow wants to prove that he's still got what it takes to be a starter in this league. He's not old. He's a veteran, but he can go out there and be a starter and still push guys around. And, of course, Vaitai, coming off of some bad injuries, wants to prove that he still got it after injury and that he can be a force to reckon with in this league as well, and block very well for the team. So I love, once again, more competition. Dustin, you hear what I'm talking about right now. It's between Vaitai and our guy Glasgow, who used to be there. I personally, I want to see the dog come out in Vaitai if he's going to be there. I don't know him personally. It seems like he can get mean. But some games, it seems like, at least when he's been out there, he hasn't played a lot because he's been injured, that he can get a little soft. So whoever is going to be more the dog out there, and just put their nose in the dirt. And, well, we don't want their nose in the dirt, but putting the other guy's nose in the dirt. That's who's going to win this spot to me. But I love it. Just two vets going at it, two proven guys who can be good on the offensive line, really fighting for a spot. And it also proves that we got some good depth there as well. And maybe one guy starts the season and doesn't do what he's supposed to, and the other guy steps up and is a beast. And then that lights a fire under the other guy. I'm just saying, competition never hurts. Once again, I love it. Linebacker room, wide receiver room, running back room, line, everywhere. We got competition all over the field, and that is what you need. Like I said, I'll say it one more time, to bring the best out of your players. All right, here we go. Going back over the comments, I see some things happening. Who's starting at right guard? I would have to personally say, I haven't seen him play in a while, but I'm going to, my money is going to be on Graham Glasgow. But if it's Vaitai, I don't care. Just play good. Whoever it is, just play good. Okay? How do you feel about O-line depth? I don't know if I touched on it there, but I feel good. I don't feel bad about it. I like the rookie that we picked up. Can't think of his name, but he was out of a smaller school. He's a big boy, big old country boy. I think that he's going to make a huge difference for us and end up being a starter for this team maybe later in the season, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years. I don't know, but I do think I see good things coming from him. The guy loves football. He loves to go out there and smash heads. And when you look at him, I mean, he looks like that kind of guy. He's a guy that you don't want to. He looks like a nicer big guy, but the guy's a giant. Like, he could take two heads and smash them together in the alley. Some guy that you don't want to meet in the alley. How about that? But I'm not too concerned with our offensive line depth. I like it. And Big V, like you said, he can move around. If somebody gets hurt at the left guard, he can go over there. Same with Graham Glasgow. Whoever gets the starting job, whoever doesn't, they can move there. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about O-line depth. We do need to stay healthy. I think that's the key to this year, as always, is injuries, staying healthy. But I think that we have a few guys who, if somebody gets hurt, we got that next, step up there, do your thing, next guy up. We got a few of those guys who can fill that hole. I truly believe. Just better depth than in the past. All right. Will Justin Jackson re-signing? How does the running back room look past David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs with Justin Jackson? Jamar Jefferson. Yeah, okay, so I left out Jamar Jefferson earlier too. I talked about this a little bit earlier. But sorry, I'm talking a little longer today. Haven't done this in a while. Sore throat. But yeah, Justin Jackson definitely makes everything very interesting. I was shocked to see that we did pick him back up. I thought we were just going to let him go because of the depth that we have there for the running back 3 position. We all see Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery being RB1, RB2. You could swap them out either way. I think Gibbs will end up being the one by the end of the year, no doubt, if he doesn't start that way. But Justin Jackson, he worked his way as RB3 last year. Of course, Craig Reynolds was injured. I heard that Craig Reynolds was the front runner for that, but that can all change quickly, as we all know. And I would love to see Mohammed go out there and, Mo Ibrahim and really give these guys, a fight. I think that he's going to. I want to see what he can do. He was a great college running back. It's going to be very interesting. Jamar Jefferson was an awesome college running back too, and I don't think he's really proven all that he can do here in Detroit yet, and maybe this is his year to step up. But no matter what, that is a very crowded running back room there for the RB3 position, and like I said earlier, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. That's one that I'm definitely watching. Not sure who's going to win it. If I had to put my money on it, I really couldn't right now. I'd have to go and watch them. But let me know what you guys think. Out of those 3 running backs, or the 4, Justin Jackson, Jamar Jefferson, Mohammed Ibrahim, and Craig Reynolds, who do you guys think is going to end up winning that RB3 role? I want to know if you guys got any opinions right now. Let me know in the comments. Would love to hear what you have to say. Moving on to the next question. Who would be backup for Montgomery's Thunder? We talking about David Montgomery? Who would be our backup for David Montgomery? Well, it's definitely Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a beast. He might be the number one. The guy's insane. His athleticism is out of this world. All right, they give Ibrahim some big money as a undrafted free agent. You're right about that, and I think it's well deserving. He did a lot in college. I was kind of shocked to see that he didn't get drafted because he did so well in college, but he was used a lot. Like, they gave him the ball a ton every single game Minnesota did. He was their whole offense. So it makes sense that a lot of teams were maybe scared to go and get him because he was already used quite a bit in college. But, you know, the way that the league works now, they just use the running backs for their 4 years and then drop them off and say good luck to whoever signs you next, because we aren't. So to get a guy that, you know, they probably don't see with them long-term anyways and they can use right now who's already got mileage on him, it's okay because he can be that red zone guy, and I'm pulling for him. I like Craig Reynolds. It's a good story. Jamar Jefferson hasn't proven enough to me yet. Justin Jackson, like I said earlier, you know, not too productive for us last year. What did I say, 140 yards and 1 touchdown. So I would love to see Mohamed Ibrahim out there as the guy, kind of like a Jamal Williams type. I know that we have Monty and we have Jahmyr Gibbs, but you get down on that goal line, and Mo Ibrahim is going to pound that ball in there for you. He's got a nose for the end zone. Go watch his highlights. The guy's a beast. But all right, I've been rambling on here now, and it's just kind of getting towards the end. This is my first episode back in a month, and I am so excited for Lions football to be back. If you guys got any more questions for me, let it be known now. Otherwise, I am out of here. Oh, here we go. We got one MSU fan. With Michael Badgley gone between Riley Patterson and John Parker Romo, who should get the kicker job? I did touch on this earlier. I'll go on a real quick one more time. I'm rooting for John Parker Romo because he has the bigger leg. I like the kickers who can kick it long for the fact that it takes less pressure off the offense, especially at the end of a half, end of a game type scenario. We don't have to get it quite as close. So I like Parker for that. But at the same time, they traded for Riley Patterson. They might try to justify that a little bit more. And he might be more consistent. So right now, I think that they're leaning on, like I said, Riley Patterson. But I would love to see John Parker Romo end up coming through, winning the job, being more consistent in practice and in the games, obviously. But I like the long leg kickers. All right. I'm out of here, you guys. Dustin, peace out. Good to see you guys again as well. I will be back here every single Tuesday. The season is starting soon, so we got a lot to talk about. Shouldn't be taking any weeks off. Don't have anything coming up. So I will see you all back next Tuesday. Please subscribe if you haven't already to Syndicate Sports Detroit. But next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
Detroit Lions!